takes its time.
Yeah, I was trying to hit this. I guess I could take one.
I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the World Championship.
They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.
Oh, it's on, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Nobody will ever come catch me. I'm just trying to be myself.
Welcome, everybody. Timberwolves win somehow by a lot. 135 to 119 after they were down by like 13 or 13. Yeah, 13 at one point. Yeah. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, like the show, contribute in chat, and join the Discord. We might need some strong communities over the next 4 years. But anyways, Ashwin,
you do.
How are you feeling about tonight's game?
I like how you phrased it about tonight's game and nothing else.
Yeah.
I actually was pretty miserable throughout the first 3 quarters. The halftime performance of that dude in a little cylinder. It doesn't make sense, but people love it apparently. Nothing made sense. I feel like our identity was swallowed up in pride, and Chicago just played Dallas last night.
Yeah.
Right. Missing in action. We'll talk about that later. Maybe offline, Mark Mokos. So congrats on your shift to environmental science, and that's what I have to say about your question.
Yes.
But yeah, thoughts. Broad strokes. We were kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. We were playing offense versus offense, not playing defense at all. Kobe White to even like the end of the bench with Julian Phillips hitting a 3 and THT kind of, doing whatever he wants. Really frustrating, especially in the Vukovic versus Gobert moments. And then the end of third quarter happened, and someone probably took a dump backstage, and then they came back, and then they were just erupted. When Ant and Jaden came back, it just flew. It flew by. The time flew by. Everyone started playing for each other. The defensive intensity ramped up, and they weren't making anything. And I actually think a lot of it was not just who was taking the shots, but like who we allowed to take the shots and how we pressed up defensively. We turned it up, and that was a great win from a team who didn't look like they were interested in playing.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. If you can come to play in the fourth quarter, as long as you're within striking distance, I mean, that's what you need. Because a lot of that game was really, we're gonna remember this as like a fun game because the fourth quarter was so crazy, but realistically, so much of it was pretty brutal to watch. Even though there were so many times, like especially like late second, early third, where I'm like, how are we even close? Like, how is this even less than 10 points? How is this less than 20 points? But we were just making the right timely threes. And although the Bulls, it's crazy. They were making a ton. they shot 53% from the field. But we shot 54. So we win. And, we had all the, obviously you have Ant go off in the fourth. You just have really timely buckets by the players that you need in the fourth. I'd be curious. I don't have the stats in front of me, and I don't know if you have this either. But I'm curious to know what we shot in the fourth.
Yeah, I can pull that up.
Because it felt crazy.
It's extreme because also in the first quarter it was like 34 to 26, and we were shooting like 70%, right? So like, we were fine offensively, especially Julius Randle. But as I'm kind of stalling for the fourth quarter numbers, we just were letting them shoot whatever they wanted, and they were like 6 for 7 or 7 for 8 from 3, in one quarter. And by the way, they were saying this out loud, so I'm just kind of repeating them. But they're like a bottom dweller, like offensive team, especially in the first quarter. On the back end of a back-to-back, you got to be like, let's shut them out. Let's just step on their foot, like step on their throat, like now, like immediately. Hey, fourth quarter, we shot 70% from the floor, including 55% from 3. We hit all of our free throws, including 3 for 3 from Rudy Gobert. He has become Mr. Reliable, especially like closing out a game against Denver and stuff like that. 10 assists, 13 rebounds in the fourth quarter alone, right? What that means is that we just decided to turn it up. Jaden started getting these rebounds. We played for each other. Conley was involved offensively, moving the ball. I just felt like kind of like last year's Timberwolves team in a nutshell. Like honestly,
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, just a
crazy.
a
The stats are
fun
crazy.
game. Yeah, what stats do you have?
Stats are crazy in the fourth quarter. No one scored over 7 for Chicago, and they only had 2 people score over 2 points. That would be
Wow.
Kobe White and Talen Horton Tucker. And so they were kind of like spreading the offense. Everyone was getting shots. There was Ao Don Sumu or whatever shot like 1 for 5, and including a couple layups that were just bricked and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, incredible like just ramp from D, and I hope this is a building block because, like, last year we lose this game. In fact, in the last couple of years, we lose these games against Chicago.
Yeah.
And there was like
Yeah.
a Grady point of effect. It basically mentioned how like stop the hot streak in Kobe White. Like, there's 2 people who are scoring this game, scoring the ball on their side. Stop them. Let anyone else beat us. And yeah, that was the recipe.
As Disco Wolf says, you guys, we beat Charlotte and Chicago.
That's crazy.
That's the sign of a good Timberwolves team.
Yeah.
If you're beating the Chicago and Charlotte in the same week, we put the bets down for championship. I mean, I don't know about that, but funny enough, early in the game, I was like, man, I knew that we were going to take a step back, but like this is just bad. Like, just defense is just not there, and that is still true. The defense is still not great. Our defense is definitely ramping up a lot, intensity wise. I don't know, effectiveness wise in the fourth quarter. But if that becomes effective all the time, then it's a mature team. That's a really good thing, especially when you've just added Julius and Dante into the mix. So that's good. What are we now? 5-3?
We are. It's actually going to
5-3.
be a point where we're going to have to stop talking about like that as an excuse, especially after losses where like Dante and Julius are now like fully assimilated into our lineup and we're playing for them. Even so much so that we're like running plays for Julius early. We're trying to have him pass with Gobert to make them look efficient together. And we're running ATOs even for these guys. So it's like it's just a matter of time when like Dante gets his shot popped off. He shot 10 threes tonight. That's awesome, even though he only made 30%. Like, it's just a matter of time where they feel like they're really like integrated,
Yep. Yeah, I think, I think you're right that we can't use the excuse for a long time, but I do think that it is going to take. I mean, at a point they're going to be more comfortable, maybe not fully comfortable, but I do think that it is going to take. I mean, think of how long it took last year's version of the team to get comfortable. I mean, they had a whole year before last year together where it was Rudy, Cat, and Ant, and they had to figure it out. And then the second year was kind of the better year. So I do think that this isn't as like crazy of a change. So I do think it is something where it's not like inserting Rudy into a lineup. It's more like just adding some complementary pieces rather than shifting entire like pillars of your offense. But yeah, no, I mean, Julius looked really good to me tonight. I love that offensively. And yeah, as you said, I'll take 10 3 attempts or 10 3 attempts, because even though it's 3 of 10 tonight, the next game it could be 7 of 10. So and then carrying us in like an off Ant night or whatever it may be. I mean, Jaden played tremendous tonight on every side of the ball. We are getting to player specifics. Do we want to get to the tier list?
Let's do it.
All right. Tier list time. I got to take everybody out of the tier list first.
We had a giddy shrining and we had a giddy technical foul early that was pretty hilarious. And I just think that they're not necessarily regretting the trade from Caruso to Giddy. It's just I think they don't have a direction anymore with this team, especially when they lost DeRozan. I think they had a kind of run it back mentality, and I think that was a falsehood. This is a borderline awful team that is kind of riding on the hot streaks of Kobe White and whenever, if ever, Zach LaVine gets back. And I think Nikola Vucevic is playing into a new team. Like, I think his role is going to be trade bait. I think he's building up value. I think he's looking the part, but he's also just defensively inept. I don't think he can really like stop anyone. He can stop Gobert because Gobert doesn't really have offensive game. But just like enough about Chicago, I just think that like their team has a lot of young, lengthy boys, but they're like feisty defensively.
Yeah.
But they really couldn't stop us in the fourth, and it really just like shows that they have so much growth to show and to kind of mature into something. And I think this whole roster is going to have several turnovers. We are a championship pedigree team. We are trying to, aspire for better endeavors for us, and we're going to see different kind of like outcomes for the season for the Timberwolves versus the Bulls. And it was really frustrating to see us lose over the past couple of years, and it was a kind of a dangerous game tonight where we start a little disinterested and we're down early, and we have to have hero ball with Ant and Julius to like even stay in the game.
And I think it sounds like from at least Grady, and it sounded like this through the broadcast, but Grady commented on it, so it made me believe that it actually was true, that it sounds like United Center, or whatever it's called now, was just really quiet and like out of it, which is unfortunately reminiscent of a lot of Target Center games. But I mean, until that Ant dunk, it really, there was like no crowd, especially coming out of the halftime, which is always how it is because everybody's getting food or going to the bathroom or whatever. But like, it was nothing after halftime. So I do think that the Timberwolves really respond well to like crowd hypeness. And Ant rises to those moments when there are stuff like that. Which is why I think after his dunk, the crowd was a little bit more engaged, and you saw Ant kind of go off, and then he's yelling, or as Grady said, howling at the moon or whatever. By the way, we had the conspiracy that Grady was not saying cash for the local broadcasts and saving it only for national. He said cash tonight. I heard it with my own ears. Debunked live on stream.
Stop all you conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. I was
a howler, bro.
I was already contacting whatever government agencies I needed to.
We're gonna go to the tier list here in a second, like literally 5 seconds here. Butterfly asked a question about like when do we probably expect kind of like the full assimilation or integration, and I think like right around the play-in tournament, like it's gonna have to happen if we give a crap about it. But I know those are regular season games, but those are gonna be spicy games in terms of just like kind of building momentum. And so I think right around that time, if not after, and that might be a little too late. Like we're seeing certain teams already in a hole.
I know.
The Lakers are in a little bit of a hole now all of a sudden. They might be able to come back, but they're in a hole and they kind of
benching
did themselves.
So.
The Clippers are go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and then like I was just looking, I'm side-eyeing the Knicks all season, and they're 3-4 right now. So like they're getting used to their system. Now Cat is playing tremendous for them, but it's not translating to a ton of wins for them. Whereas we have opposited them. Now it's only 8 games or whatever, but it's a good look. But I do think, to your point, I do think play-in / maybe January, but like you said, I think January probably is too late. But
what did I say? The play-in tournament? What is it called?
Oh yeah, in-season tournament. Yeah, did I say play-in? I don't know.
I mean, I think I did too, because
the play-in tournament is too late. that's too late. Please not the play-in.
Yes, please not the play-in tournament. Let's be beyond that. Okay. Luka Garza came down from Earth, from the heavens, blessed us with his chiseled face, and went 0 for 2 from the field. But he had a rebound.
Big rebound.
Moving on. PJ Dozier, he's on our team. Moving on. Josh Minot played early in the first quarter, didn't do anything. Laughed, got shoved by Finch. B, because he got shoved and he laughed about it.
Where is he?
Rob Dillingham.
He played
an assist. I think it's pretty cool that he's getting more playing time. I hope that he can find his way into the rotation, because I desperately think that we need a jolt of energy from like a third guard. I feel like he could definitely be the third guard, whether it be Dante, Nikhil, Alexander Walker. I think there's like another guy that we need to kind of just like offset what Conley is or isn't doing. Tonight, Conley had a great game in a nutshell, but I think Dillingham should really crack the rotation. Here, I'm going to leave Terrence Shannon Jr. to you, because in our preseason prediction, we actually thought that he was going to crack the rotation and he was going to surprise a lot of people.
We did. I still think it's possible. I still think later in the season, at this point, I'm revising my statement to still be true that he's going to be playing for us, but I do think it's probably going to be after the in-season tournament, where he becomes a little bit more of a bench piece for us. I'm not even saying that he's going to be playing like 20 minutes a game, but just a little bit, little bursts of energy here and there. But boy, oh boy, did Terrence Shannon Jr. have a great minute and 48 seconds.
It was sweet.
That was so fun.
Nice to see.
And Grady's call for his dunk, even though the game was out of hand, like getting that hyped about it got me like,
yeah,
oh
got me
my
hyped.
gosh.
Also seeing Ant on the replay dunk, like jumping as high as he did.
Yes. Oh gosh. I mean, Grady alone gets like an A1 for just that call on the Terrence Shannon dunk. But I'm so ready to see more of those types of dunks. I don't care if we're down. I don't care if we're up. I want to see that. That was incredible. I mean, what do we give him for a grade? I feel like this, like, is it cash? Okay,
cash. It's cash.
I was about to do tierflation big time.
I think it's tierflation for cash.
I think tierflation is, yeah, it probably is cash, or because like this isn't really cash, but
I mean DBB and everyone else, FJD. Like A1 is a special night, and yes, he had a dunk. It was an incredible dunk. Got me off my seat. Garbage time.
It is garbage time, and as Gerald's saying, it's got to be cash for his minute or two of play. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
we could add.
Mason.
We could add an. Oh yeah, should be in the dunk contest. See, the thing is that I haven't seen his like.
He's an in-game dunker.
He's just a like he's just got
a hammer.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Grady called it, which is what I was about to say. We should add a new tier called the hammer for just a good dunk, but we're not going to add any new tier. In fact, I was going to ask you all to eliminate one of these tiers so that I could fit it on the screen better. So get your grades in for eliminating. But yeah, I mean, obviously, regardless of whether you think it's A1 cash or A or whatever, I mean, this was just super, super fun.
PL has spoken.
PL says it.
Welcome, PL. Shout out to K Brewers in the chat.
Yes.
Hope everything's well with you. Hey, let's move on to some more bench players. Naz Reid. We'll start with Naz Reid, 6th man of the year, and probably in the running for 6th man of the year. So far tonight, not the best results, especially after coming from quite the high from the previous game. He came right back to form, to his normal former self, where he wasn't getting playing time, and for obvious reasons. In 18 minutes, he was 2 for 7 from the floor, 4 points, 2 rebounds, no threes, nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, he's team low, -10.
Yeah.
Not great. The eye test, at least in the second half for me, wasn't like, I didn't think it was terrible. At least I didn't feel it. Maybe I was just paying attention to other players, but yeah, I mean, this was just not a good game. Probably at best, maybe a meh.
Yeah, there was a point where it was both Randall and Naz Reid out there early in the game to sub out for Gobert, and it was abysmal. But then when Julius Randle got subbed back in for Naz Reid, it kind of turned the tide to like at least look like a game. We kept it in striking distance versus like having us blown out. I think Naz Reid's first stint was much worse than his second stint. And I just feel like, hey, we have a rebounding problem on this team. Let's kind of cut out some of the bullshit and like close out possessions. And who does that better than like our tall boys, our trees? And I kind of get frustrated. Also, you know, there was some awesome passes that left him wide open from 3, and he just shanked them. So a lot of ways, like it was just an awful game from him.
Yeah, maybe it's lower.
So a D-Lo tier would be maybe where we put him. I don't know if D-Lo tier stays.
I know, that's why I'm like, I don't know. I'm putting a poll up in the chat, so you guys can all vote. It's just for one, though. So go ahead and vote.
Mason said it's time to let go of Wancho, but
Wancho's
not even in the league anymore. Oh, but Wancho's not even in the league anymore. Did I just convince myself? But Wancho had his Adam Sandler movie.
It's just so fun to say.
And Wancho,
it's like just Wancho, and I don't know why I hate bottoms, but it's relevant because Grady still says it. D'Lo tiers. D'Lo's another dynamic tier.
PL, 2 words, D-Lo.
I mean, we might just be listening to PL all night.
Yeah, maybe. Keep it coming.
I could maybe, D'Lo just got benched in real life. Maybe it's time we bench him in the tier list. However, our poll is up. We have 19 votes. It is ridiculously close and changing every vote. This is crazy.
That's cool.
So currently it's tied. Oh, it's changing every second.
They want more tiers.
We need more tiers now. But a lot of D'Lo, a lot of Juancho. It's pretty even. Well, now Juancho's taking the lead. Oh, man.
Gerald's speaking the truth tonight.
This is close. What did Gerald say?
D'Lo is so descriptive as a tier, though. And then I wish I could pronounce her name. Juancho is iconic. D'Lo isn't just an ordered ranking. It's a specific kind of bad night, which makes bottoms the odd one out. Okay. But then, why is there so much controversy with this stupid tier list? Mark says bottom stays until Grady leaves.
The people demand the tier list.
Is that true, Kenny? I feel like,
scored 100.
Maybe because we were so bad at the 3 in previous years. But
Weird.
That sounds wrong to me. But that's
And
crazy.
you know what?
135?
Yeah. Even more importantly, June here. 23 votes and only 15 likes on the stream. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Call me casual, aka Capo.
Capo.
Juancho is so fun to say. And it's just historical shit tier, Like it's just he was a great guy who Ant found amusing, and then that movie came out, so they're forever linked, in a weird way.
It looks. I mean, oh man. Well, I guess we'll keep the tier list as is for now, but
no change except for the dynamic gold tier.
Dynamic gold tier is staying for now. You guys can keep voting. Currently, Juancho's in the lead by a decent amount to get rid of. So tonight could be the last Juancho night unless some votes come in.
Way too much fun to trash on D'Lo. We lost a couple fans. Both
we did.
Discord, JBX, RP, JBX. And,
I miss JBX.
Stats. I know.
JBX was so good.
He's our Aussie Connect.
Yes.
Yeah, he should come back because we got Joe Ingles.
True. JBX, if you're out there, you can come back to the Discord. I promise.
RP. But Mason said it's too much fun to trash on D'Lo. Did you see what happened to D'Lo? That's
what I'm saying. He got benched.
Yeah.
And did you see the reaction from JJ Redick when he shot that, and then he just starts fuming in his chair? It was crazy.
It's kind of what I was like in the previous 8 years of Timberwolves fandom. But it's okay. Hey, I keep looking at the Bulls roster for some reason. I'm not trying to, I promise. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 22 minutes, 2 for 5 from the floor, 5 points. I got to say his box score doesn't do it justice. He was sensational. Yeah. I thought his pressure D, as well as that really timely 3, where I felt like we had nothing going. And then that kind of weird shimmy, sidestep in step in kind of clutch 2. When I feel like the game could have kind of turned a little bit then at that very moment. It was already turning to our favor, but I think I think Na's amazing, and his season has been remarkable. And I think he's just very in the flow of things. He doesn't need to score, and I think I want to give him a B despite his low production. I think I do too. I was going to say that. I just think that he's been so good, and it's like how Jaden was in years. It's still Jaden is, but it's it doesn't matter what his actual stat line is. I can just feel his impact out there. It's too good. But oh yeah, quick fact check from DBB. He scored 151 against the Spurs and 150 against the Bulls. My goodness. Oh well, we have to listen to PL tonight. So whoa. That's up to you. Up to you. I'll let you have the final say. You are God after all. We've listened to PL a lot tonight. I think we're gonna pass on this one. But PL, you're 2 for 3. You lifted his chair up and down while sitting. I feel like that's a very proactive JJ Redick, because I feel like his twilight years in the NBA was mostly just that, sitting on the bench, barely doing anything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I know he like picked up a defensive oriented coach, but like that team is going to fizzle the fuck out, and I'm here for it. Like they started hot because whatever the fuck, right? And they had to beat us because national TV and brawny. But
They
like
gotta go through
the team is
adversity.
going to fizzle the f out, and I'm really really excited about that. And there's gonna be injuries. Like I can't believe I'm saying this, but Philadelphia is a team full of injury prone people now, and so they're just gonna bottom out now too. So like every single one of their stars is injured. And it sucks to hear it, to say it, and like kind of say it, but it's like it's the truth.
Yeah, it is.
Dante DiVincenzo, go ahead.
No, I was just checking that I put not up.
I flew too high. All right, well, way to check yourself, I suppose. Dante DiVincenzo, DDV, Big Ragu. Do you like that nickname, Big Ragu?
No, I hate it.
I don't get it.
And
I also want to say I don't like his orange sneakers.
Oh yeah,
I hate it. I feel like
he needs some bright green or blue.
He needs to break in the blues, man.
Yeah,
or the lime greens or the AE ones. Like
get him some AE ones. Yeah,
because Terrence Shanner's wearing them.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some other ties I just don't know. He went to Villanova, so there's no orange in Villanova, and like it's the Nick Flair flavor probably, or he just his favorite shoes.
Yeah.
He needs to wear blue. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, a block shot, and he shot 10 times from 3. That is awesome. Holy crap! From our bench player. Like one of the bench high plus 19 off the bench. I think this is a B, one of his best games in a Timberwolves uniform in the regular season.
Yeah, it's weird because he shot 4 of 13, but and it's so funny because he just quickly, very rapidly goes back and forth between like, wow, this is such a win for us to trade for him. And also then you see some plays where you're like, I didn't realize that he couldn't even play in college basketball. There's just certain plays where it just looks so bad. And I do think that it's because he's still getting adjusted to the offense and he's just he's committing to things early, like moves that he's going to do early, and not knowing it in the current offense that we have. He's just like, it just looks like he's like flopping around out there. But then there's other times where, he's just shooting so hot from 3. And it's like, same with, I said this all the time, but same with Malik Beasley. I can just, every time he shoots from 3, I'm like, it's going. And I just want to see it every single time. So
the best thing is just the quick release, right? Beasley had a quick release. The fact that he was just unplayable on the other end, and you would think that he could because he was very quick. But he was never actually able to implement that defensively. Frustrating, right? But Beasley had a hot trigger, and same with DiVincenzo. It's even faster, I feel, where you can he shoots off the catch like mid-air, and it actually looks pure every time he shoots it. So one of my favorite acquisitions in recent years. It's just a matter of time. Where his percentage goes up. I think he's more and more getting more confident. And as someone was saying earlier in the chat, his rebounding, his defensive intensity, and his just hustle was sorely needed. This team, when we were down by 10 early in the first quarter, at least he stemmed the bleeding, and he was able to press up, and he was able to knock down a couple shots here and there. All right, so hey, Hans Sundquist said, hey, it's such a change for a Wolves fan to be down for 3 quarters and still feel confident we're going to win the game. Well, I will say I didn't feel that confident just because I felt like for the most part for 3 quarters, we just didn't have anyone to really pull us through. We were having Julius Randle with an on-off game, and Rudy Gobert kind of looked lackluster for most part of it. I will say he turned the game in the fourth quarter, and it was just a couple heroic plays from Jaden and Ant to keep us within striking distance. Fourth quarter happened. Holy crap. That was awesome. That was confidence boosting. And I feel like I'm going to have this kind of roller coaster this year with this team.
Yeah. Which I think it's good because you and I don't know if you've followed the advice that we gave each other to begin the season. But to I'm not going to be as emotionally invested in each individual game, especially here early in the season. I need it for my mental health, and I need it because it's just not sane. Like you just have to be. These games in the beginning of the season are important,
They're building games.
but yeah, you just need to have an even keel. But for me, yeah, like watching tonight, to Hans's credit, like although I didn't necessarily in the third quarter think we got a shot at this, I didn't say we have a 0% chance. And I think that in previous seasons, seeing the way we played tonight, I'd have been like, we're not going to win. And I'd be starting to get the stream ready, and I'd be starting to be like, okay, so what like negative tweet do I need to put out about the game and us losing tonight? And instead, I'm out there making marked safe from Kobe White threes to begin the fourth quarter. So pretty fun. And I do think that there is just a little bit more, just a little bit more hope. And it's just trust too, because like last season was big for me. Just the psychology of being a Timberwolves fan, I guess. In that, like, seeing us go deep into the playoffs for so many years, my main concern had been like, we're just gonna crumble every single chance where it gets important. And to see us not do that multiple times, like first we swept Phoenix, and then to have like that game 6 and game 7 against Denver, that alone completely changed the psychology of how I treat Timberwolves games now. Because now I can watch a game like tonight where the other team is just shooting lights out, and I'm like, well, I know that there's a chance that Ant could go crazy in the fourth quarter, or Nas could go crazy, or whoever could go crazy. So it's never out of the question for me anymore. But it wasn't as easy as saying, I think we could win. It wasn't like that. So it's sort of there, but
Yeah, it was a good point. Kind of makes you think about the psychology.
yeah. We'll have a new segment, psychology.
Psychology,
Timberwolves basketball
Cameron's,
psychology.
The Cam's Cam.
I honestly, dude, there's so much that I think about psychology. I probably could. I probably would have enough content. I think about it so much. There's so many different elements too, because like I've talked about it too earlier about how like Ant is like he totally his energy is off of crowd noise, and like things, not so much like fights or how like in like 10 years ago or 15 years ago in the NBA, it was like, okay, if people start shoving each other, get technicals, then like a team gets a real good burst or something like that. Although we have had that happen once already this year and it worked out in our favor. But that's how it was in the past. Now it's really just Ant is wanting to just like shut up crowds. So like he goes on the road and he's just like trying to kill United Center. He just wants to kill everything in front of him, just like he said. So
yeah, it must be kind of crazy to be a Lakers fan and to like kind of like ride the Kobe years into the twilight years of Kobe into like kind of Lonzo Ball hype and nothing and Kuzma tattoos, and then like kind of losing all of it, like Josh Hart and Randall and everyone just like D'Lo, everyone just departed, and then they got players, and then they got this high, and then now there's an expectation to win. And then every game is super stressful because they're in the play-in because they're not winning. They're in play-in situations, and but they are expected to win every year because that's the team, right? Like we have been, pretty abysmal as a franchise, and then all of a sudden now we've built a culture. Some weird Rosas, stones arose through the concrete, kind of grew out of that, and I guess Conley and whoever's in charge now, like kind of built into a culture, and it's all because of Ant, man. Honestly, like let's get into the starters, and I don't want to really start with Ant, but I just want to be like, Ant kind of drives this aura / sizzle / like confidence in the rest of the team, and I think like we've never had a player like this. Even KG would just instill like tenacity and effort, but he wouldn't like take over games except for just a handful a season. This is like almost like an expectation, right, for Ant?
Yeah.
Which is crazy awesome. Conley, 26 minutes, 14 points, 11 motherfucking assists, 0 turnovers, back to form. Do you remember when we started the year last year? His ATO was like 65-1, and people were like, "That's not sustainable." Of course, it's not.
Yeah.
But 11 assists, 0 turnovers, including 3 for 6 from 3, including Julius Randle dimes to the corner of Conley, the pick and pop with or pick and roll with him and Gobert. I think I don't want to say he's back, but this is his best game this year, and old tier goes up a couple notches tonight.
Okay, I like it. Yes. Goes up to above A.
I think we're gonna be there. Yes, because there was no
All right.
Ingles. There was no jingle and ingle tonight.
There was no jingles. Cool. I'm down with it. Yeah, no, Conley. I think that the thing is that we're gonna get Conley performances like this every once in a while, but as the years or perhaps just games go on, we're not gonna have them as frequently. So like tomorrow night, I doubt that we have this. So
I agree.
But perhaps there could be some amount of rust that he's kicking off to start the season. We're only 7 or 8 games in, so maybe this is the beginning of him kind of getting in somewhat of a groove. But even last season, when he was 1 year younger, he still was not having consistent games like this on a regular basis. But when he was shooting confidently from 3 tonight, which was awesome, and I love to see it. So
he's 24.
He is 24. Yeah.
Is he older than Ant?
He is older than Ant.
Ant is 23.
Yeah.
Oh man, what
Sort
a
of
time
sad.
to be a rookie.
But that's also why I think that he has a good chance of being in the roster come December or January, because he's just experienced more being 24 years old.
Just has more of a body.
Yeah. Because like Dillingham, obviously you see him out there and it's like, oh boy, if he goes up against like a physical guard or something, or anybody, anybody in the NBA other than him, it's gonna be rough. So
I really think that Terrence Shannon Jr. is going to crack the rotation here. It's just a
agree.
matter of time. I hate saying that word, maybe even like my theme of the year, but I really can't wait, because I think his energy and his hustle is going to prove it he's going to prove it on the court. I swear. And okay, moving on. Wow, what a performance from Jaden Slim JD. I don't know if that's going to stay, but Slim JD McDaniels. Seatbelt McDaniels, 33 minutes, 6 for 7 from the floor, 3 for 3 from 3, 19 points. Oh, only 2 rebounds.
But one of them was incredible. I think it was in the fourth quarter.
Sky high.
Yeah. I was like, if we see this all the time, I'm totally in. Like, that's the rebounding we need from him.
5 years older than Dilly. I cannot believe that, man.
Yeah, right? It's crazy.
Yes.
He had that seatbelt
look at his eye. So funny, man. Ant said that. I can't believe it. Oh gosh. Yeah. I don't know what it was, but like Josh Giddey kind of like struck him a bit, a couple of things that didn't go Josh Giddey's way. I think Jaden kind of got fueled by that a bit, and really played well defensively. And I think actually when the fourth quarter, when he came back in, the lead only grew from what it was, like 3 to 5 to 10 to 12, right? Like it was just like really quick and then out of reach. It was crazy. Go ahead. Any grade? I'm down for anything.
I think, God, I don't know, because he shot so well that I almost want to go cash. But I mean, maybe it's cash.
What a volatile season for Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird.
Cash is fine. Cash is appropriate.
This is the thing, though, and I mean, the problem is that he shot so efficient tonight that there's no shot that it happens all the time. But if he can play some version of how he played tonight offensively and just hit a little bit, it just shows you how much it helps the team. You just need somebody like Jaden. If you can have somebody like Jaden, it's just massive. So,
do we need this tier, like defensive player of the game or something?
Seatbelt tier.
I don't think anyone wants it, but I'm just like,
no, I am with Charlie Barley. I hate seatbelt. Slim is
I don't know,
okay.
Slim JD though, right? Slim JD, maybe.
Something about saying Slim JD sounds like I'm saying
Yeah.
something offensive. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is,
I
but
said
it
it out
seems.
loud a few times.
Yeah.
I think it's dead. R.I.P.
You killed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Julius
Who's up
Randle.
next?
Julius Randle, 35 minutes, 22 points, 10 rebounds, hit a 3 early, 4 turnovers, but 3 assists, and I want that to double every game. I think this was a very solid B from Julius Randle. I didn't see anything extreme. I think he bully balls a little bit, and it's exciting. I think it's also a little bit overrated because his game is a little bit shorter than I would want it to be. You know, I mean, like he needs to get to the rim for his little like weird floaters to go in. But he's kind of eliminated a lot of the mid range stuff, and I think that's cool to see because we don't need it. But he is hesitant to shoot the three, so
Yeah.
1 for 4 from 3 is also reflective of that. One of the players who gets to the line a lot on our team and should is Ant, but also Julius. It just helps with production, helps with slowing the game down. And I mean, he sucked so much in the first half.
Yeah.
Especially in the first stint, rather in the first quarter. But like that second half, he had a putback with like a huge rebound putback, and then he had the steal layup dunk thing. I think that got him going, and then kind of like the third quarter, fourth quarter, he kind of cooked on his own. He didn't really need anyone else. But where I like him best is the dribble drive penetration, and then he passes out to the corner. It's amazing.
I just love that because like the second half of this game, yes, was much better. But like the ability for him, because this is what we wanted from Cat all the time, is we wanted if Ant's gonna get doubled, we need Cat to like create some offense or just shoot really well. And a lot of the time that wasn't really how it worked. And just seeing Julius be able to, at times when Ant is getting doubled, he has to pass out of it, just kind of work one-on-one with whoever he has, gets to the rim, gets to the foul line, whatever that is. I mean, just the way he does it too, he's just so comfortable with it. Again, I'm still adjusting and thinking because it still seems chaotic to me, but I understand that it's controlled chaos. So I'm just getting used to that. But yeah, I mean, I really like the second half of this game from him. It's not necessarily super cohesive as like an offense. And I think that's where him shooting some like corner threes after getting kickouts from like Ant or Jaden or whoever will be huge, or Rudy. Yeah, no, I thought this was a solid game. I'd probably go B.
I think it's a B. Gerald, great point. There's no panic with him. I think that's such a outstanding part of his game that's kind of translating to other parts of the team where people are driving and they're not like recklessly running into players. I think we had a lot of that last year and previous years, and he's very controlled. And I think his drives, while they look like a Rhino, if I don't know if you remember Rhino from way back in the day when we had he like going by Cookie. It doesn't matter. But we called him the Rhino, and he would be insane. He would just drive right into people, right? Gary Trent style. This guy spins around people, gets contact, but his contact isn't like the way that you would see contact normally happen. It's like on his weird floaters and on like the teardrop shots. And I just think that there's like another gear to him that once he's like absolutely comfortable, I think we're gonna like see this like new evolved Julius, because like the fact that he can be a playmaker is going to make him so valuable to this team.
Yeah,
I feel like I was just kind of spinning my wheels there trying to arrive at that point, but like I just think his like penetration skills with the ball and as a dribble driver is like awesome, underrated as hell. Enough about Julius Randle. Someone who shouldn't be really dribbling the ball all. Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, but he did a lot tonight.
But he did a lot of that. He did a couple behind the back passes as well as he did a no look in the third quarter. Dear God.
What is wrong with him?
Yeah, lots of things. However, he put it together. He put it together for a full 4 quarters after a first half disgrace. 32 minutes, 9 for 11 from the floor, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a block shot. He had a couple offensive fouls on screens that were super sad. This is quite a game for Rudy Gobert, where it was both Jekyll and Hyde. It was both high and low. Basically, Vukovic, whatever Gobert was doing, Vukovic was just scoring a 3 on top of him. So it was just that bad. And in the fourth quarter, he just clamped everyone down and did so much for us.
Yep. Obviously we love seeing the efficiency from Rudy. Some amazing alley-oops that I loved.
Dude.
It was super, super hype. Again, with most of the players tonight, we're talking about the second half, but
you're right.
Yeah, I hate those behind the back passes, the everything that we talked about with Cat. Especially when we're down, let's just please take this seriously.
Yeah.
I don't care that if you can do it effectively or whatever, just please. But yeah, no, I think this is a really good game for Rudy. I don't know where to put him though.
Well, I think this is an A because it's incredible that he was almost a D-Lo after the first quarter, second quarter. A couple of turnovers, an offensive foul, rebound putbacks that weren't there. He had a couple really soft plays that went in his way. But I just was not excited about how he was not dunking things, and we were going too much into him. We were playing too much for him, and I just you got to feed him every now and then, but it's too forced. That's not necessarily his fault, but he's always open for almost a reason, right?
Yeah, that's true.
In the fourth quarter, he just basically just said F this, and he took over. And I think maybe he just needed a little bit of time to warm up his legs or something, because that fourth quarter was dominant, absolutely dominant. And I think it kind of outweighs a lot of what happened prior to that. And I think, it's a game. This is going to sound so much like John Madden, but it's like a game of 4 quarters. It's a game of 48 minutes. So can you pick and choose minutes carefully and play hard all the time? Or can you pick your battles if the game is close and then kind of take over when the game is in the balance, right? So I don't know.
Yep. Maybe somebody needs, or maybe Rudy needs to cook more, said somebody in the Discord. Possibly me, possibly not. We'll never know.
No.
But there was that one play in the fourth where he did some spin. He was dribbling, post move, and then he did a spin move and then hit the and one.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But anyways, put him in A. And we're last. Oh, actually, we didn't grade Dante. What was your grade for Dante? Did we grade?
We did. I thought it was a B.
Was it a B? Okay. I didn't put him there for some reason.
And Rudy could also be old tier. I'm okay with old tier for Rudy.
That's true. Actually, tonight it works.
And it works. I don't think Conley played better than Rudy Gobert. I'll just be honest with you on that one.
Yeah, I think old and old. There we go. I'm down.
Old and old. But younger than Terrence Shannon Jr. apparently. Has 4 kids. Anthony Edwards.
And counting.
35 and counting. 35 minutes, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a block shot. Probably could have had 10 more if he really cared. But 5 for 9 from 3 is incredible. 13 for 23 is insane efficiency. He had a different kind of the seatbelt was on for Jaden McDaniels tonight, but there was a driver's seat mentality for Anthony Edwards, and it was driving to the rim
the whole game. He really was the one player that was really consistent all of the game. This was a superstar performance. We just missed out on getting the poster dunk, which would have been awesome.
That would have been A1 material, man.
That was A1 material. If we have that dunk also in there, I think we could have thrown him into A1. But obviously A1 is reserved for the once in a lifetime games. Or maybe a few times in a lifetime games. Something very memorable. I do think this was a fantastic game, so I'm not trying to not sugarcoat, but the opposite of that. I think this is probably, honestly, the efficiency alone is probably Cash, because that's one of his problems is that he's just chucking a lot right now. But if he's going to be as efficient as he was, 13 to 23, 5 and 9 from 3, that's super solid. So
He started 3 for 8 from the floor, which isn't like awful, but it's just like, it just shows that like he wasn't all in, all engaged, and then it just fourth quarter happened, and he just took over. And what was it? Someone said aura.
Yeah.
He had the Jordan aura. He just kind of like took over the game because he knew it was time, and everyone rode his back. And he's sensational. Like, he is incredible. And it's also kind of one thing to just like play well, but to back it up, right? To do a full game package, right? Like, at 8 rebounds, 6 assists, only 2 fouls, one of the better defenders on our team, does it, whenever he takes most plays seriously. He really amps up and ramps up for his team. He gets reference the Terrence Shannon Jr. dunk where he jumped up for him, like, it was so fun to see. And there's all the cameras are on him. Like, 20,000 people in attendance, 18,000 of those people are for Anthony Edwards. Like, they want to watch him play. They want to see what he can do. And he backs it up. Like, it's kind of insane, surreal. Usually it only really happens to the top high market teams of the NBA. We have one of those right now. And I mean, we got to cherish the season for what it is, man. We're not stressed about this year because we're, kind of bury the hatchet and kind of get above 500 and get into the playoffs. And then we have expectations of getting to the, conference finals. That's our floor. Supposedly we've improved our team, and we're going to see that happen. We're going to see what becomes of this team, and we have 80 games to like figure this out. What is our apex? What does the best looking team look like?
And he's going to have to be a leader. And speaking of which, in the locker room, Anthony Edwards, we came out as if we're this powerhouse. We're not a powerhouse. We ain't nobody right now. We're a team that went to the Western Conference Finals. We ain't been there 2 times, 3 times. We've been there once. We're coming out of games thinking we're going to win. And that's what happened tonight. They came out lackluster. And, I do appreciate his honesty in these interviews. I love it, because it's not just saying the right things all the time. He is saying like the truthful things. In just a very, like, he has no agenda. He's not trying to do like the 2K, like, oh, which one is good for like my brand, or which one is good for whatever. He is just being authentic him, which is good for everything. The fans, his brand, the team, the coaches, everybody. So I love hearing that. It's great. But yeah. Well, anyways, tier list: Ant, Cash, or let's see, Cash, Ant, Terrence Shannon Jr., Jaden. Old tier moved up under Cash tonight too, and that is both Mike and Rudy. In B tier, we have. Why do we have Josh Minot in B tier?
Put him out as a meh.
Did I do that accidentally? In B tier, we have Julius, and the other New York Nick, DiVincenzo. In meh, we've got Garza, Minot, and Dillingham. And then in D-Lo, we have Naz Reid. And the poll. Oh my gosh, it's still happening. It is going back and forth as we speak. We have 50 votes. Right now, it is ridiculously close. D'Lo looks like it's staying for now. Wancho is at 34%. Bottoms is at 36%. So it is very, very close.
Glenn Taylor, stay.
Yeah. Wolves box scores. Shout out.
Welcome.
Wancho tier is inevitable, but inevitable to stay or to go?
Wow, that's a question. Let's have another poll.
Another poll. Here we go. Well, now Wancho's this is crazy. I don't know what to do.
We might have to wait to another show.
We might have to wait for another show.
The poll continues.
The poll continues. I mean, it's tied. We could get rid of both Wancho and Bottoms.
Wow. And then
That's
what
a
does our
lot.
tier list even mean?
That's a lot of change in one day.
Yeah,
Can we
yeah,
handle
I
that
can't
much
handle
change?
that much change.
Gerald Wancho has just rolled off the tongue for years. Would be super
yeah.
hard to stop. See, that's what I'm saying. Um, Jake, I agree. I do hate democracy. I think it does continue. Next stream.
Which
Unless there's crazy ballot dumps in the last 5 minutes of the stream here. But anyways, next game is tomorrow, and it is our first of, I think, 34 games against the Portland Trailblazers this month. We play the Trailblazers. It's a 8 p.m. game, so it's a little bit later. And then on Sunday we play the Heat, and then Tuesday, Wednesday is Trailblazer, or T-Blazer, as Jim Pete likes to say. So yeah, let's do a tier list of our tier list headings and the lowest loses.
So like real quick, you're not here tomorrow.
I am not here tomorrow.
I have a chance that I might not be here tomorrow, but I'm definitely not here on Sunday for who are playing against the Heatles.
Yeah, I will be here Sunday.
Jimmy Butler has like white dreads. I don't know if you saw that.
I have not. I have not watched really any East basketball other than Knicks games, which I haven't really even watched that many Knicks games. Yeah, so no show tomorrow. Or wait, maybe show tomorrow, but it would have to just be you. No show tomorrow. And then Sunday I will be available. Tuesday, Wednesday I will be at the games because I am a West Coast boy. So I will be going to those 2 games with my dad. And yeah, I think that's kind of the upcoming schedule here. Feeling okay to start the season. 5-3 is good. This is also crazy. 55 votes and only 11 likes. That's crazy.
Oh, I understand now. Okay.
Yes. Everybody like the stream if you haven't already. Got to get some likes in there or something. Cool. Well, also, side note, we're going to go back to the Jazz. Because when I played the other song, the last stream, we got like copyright striked. And then it was blocked in certain countries and stuff like that. So that was crazy. So
we need our worldwide audience, man.
I know. What we do have people, JBX was Australian. And Begus is someplace I can't remember. But anyways, what was I going to say? This is the last time you're going to hear the new intro music. We're going to go back to the old intro music, which was cool. It's not as aggressive, but the Jazz is back. Anyways, any last words, Ashwin, before I wrap it up?
No, thanks for staying with us. Hour after the game, still thinking about the Timberwolves. That's kind of who we are. We are diehard Timberwolves fans, and it's so much fun to have you guys here. And after the fact as well on our podcast, I think.
Yes, I'm going to try to post it this time. I forgot to post the last one. I realized that today.
Slow gains.
Yes, slow gains. But do check us out on the podcast. If you can't ever watch live, we do have Spotify and Apple Podcasts now.
Dude, Charlie. Happy Apple is one of my favorite acid jazz groups, man.
Whoa.
Oh my God. Let's go. Let's talk about this.
I'll have to look into it. But also, it probably would still be copyright. And the song that I use for jazz is not. But anyways, appreciate you all. I'm going to take this banner down. It was great to talk to you all. Good to see you all after a interesting, stressful week. So more streams soon. Not tomorrow, though. So enjoy the night off. Friday night, too. People will probably be busy anyways. And it's the Blazers. So hopefully the game's over before halftime.
Yeah, they are actively tanking, I feel.
Hopefully.
Similar to the Bulls, I think. They're going to probably trade the Jerry and Grant of the world, right?
I think that is super likely, yeah. And somehow Scoot will find a way to score like 30 points against us tomorrow. But
well done, everyone.
Yes.
Thanks
see
so much
you
for
all next week. 52 wins, still possible. Intro as the outro. We'll see you Sunday.
trying to hit this. I guess I could take one. I could take much more.
I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the world championship.
They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.
Oh, it's on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, baby. Nobody will ever come catch me. I'm just trying to be myself.